Libra. It's been a while. I'd like to say happy birthday season to you, coming towards the end of September. I'm a Libra myself, as you know, Libra Sun and Libra Rising. Shout out to Libra Gang, okay? I'm going to be using the Urban Tarot deck for you today. It's one of the newest decks that I've purchased, and I really like it. I'm a New Yorker, so it really speaks to me. And it's been a while since I've gone live, too. I've been needing some rest. The sun is in our 12th house, right? So a lot of you might be having some crazy dreams. You might be feeling a little bit more psychic. I'm going to try to keep this video to like 20 minutes and under because I'm going to read an Shanti today from 12 to 4, maybe 12 to 5, depending on what's going on, Libra, September 2019. I got that song in my head. It's like, push it to the limit, which is what I'm doing right now. I like doing that. Wow, okay. Push it to the limit, right? Push it to the limit. Victory. Let me lay these out. I'm just going to do an ascendant spread today. I think that was it. Whew. Let me go ahead and shuffle it. I think that, I had already done that, but let me go ahead and cut it now. For some reason, I needed to do that. So I'm going to lay them out, and then I'm just going to go. This deck is very Thoth-based. I've never actually owned the Thoth Tarot by Aleister Crowley, but I think this is what it's based off of. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck, we got rock star, which we're hoping to be those. Yes, rock stars. This is the Knight of Wands, so this is Sagittarius, right? I said, that song, push it to the limit. Okay. Our birthday season's coming up. There's some really wonderful things, hopefully, that's happening. And I have a little mantra here for you guys. God within, awaken me. Wait, God within, awaken and fill me with bliss, joy, and happiness. Okay? So now, let me go ahead and get into this reading. We're at 2 minutes. The first card, the Seven of Pentacles. This is failure. So this is talking about time, and then it's also talking about the inability to see where something is going because you're so emotionally affected by the outcome or what you might be getting out of it now. There's like no, not restitution maybe, but there's no kind of like gratification right now. You might have to learn a lesson here with time. So there's a lesson that's being learned with time here in terms of something being reached, a goal, because the sevens are related to the Chariot, which is talking about movement forward. So you might be feeling like it's hard to move forward from something, maybe a relationship, because it is a 7 and it's related to the 7th house, which is Libra. It could have to do with your emotions, right? You could just be feeling very emotional, and that could be making you feel kind of like a failure in some kind of way. But the sevens are also talking about, how you act and react to something. And this is just kind of like your situation, perhaps. This is like wanting to see things blossom, and it's just saying that things are just going to take a little bit more time. So don't think that things are like not going in the direction that you want them to go, right? Because it is a 7. It's saying that things are going that direction, you know what I mean? Because it is Earth, it is Taurus, you know what I mean? There's just something more for you to learn. Taurus is talking about security, right? So this is a slow stepping stone, right? It's like you are getting closer to your security, but it's just going to take a little bit more seasoning, right? It's Saturn is related to the 7th house of Libra because it is exalted there, and Saturn is an earth energy, but then it's Taurus Libra. Anyway, I'm going too far in. Anyway, we're feeling like something's taking a really long time, okay? The challenge for that is the Ace of Swords. So that's really wonderful. There's a new beginning, there's some new truth, there's some new clarity there. So, if there was no clarity, oh shit. If there was no clarity here, wow, you can really see this card in the light. If there was no clarity here, right, then there is going to be clarity here with this Ace of Swords that you're going to be able to notice and that you're going to be able to see, I should say once we get closer to this goal, once we get closer to this thing that we feel like we deserve, right? And it's also talking about confidence, right? So you're trying to do something confidently. You're trying to handle a process confidently that might actually be feeling like an obstacle to you. It does have to do with weighing things out. You may have been taking a long time to make a decision to do something. It's saying that you should do it. You know what I mean? Because the Ace of Swords is talking about action in a way, and then it's talking about the proof of something. So it's kind of like once prove by acting, right, and allowing yourself to see, right, and be open and clarity. It's like once you get past this point of feeling like this is failure, then you'll have this moment of openness, right? You'll just be kind of like renewed in your mind, right, even in your spirit, right, because it's kind of like you need a fresh perspective, okay, to make your spirit feel renewed. Anyway, let me go into your sun position. In the sun position, you have the moon position. So this could be the new moon in Libra that we're going to be experiencing. Hey, honey, I have Libra rising, Venus and Scorpio in the first house, Sun and Libra. Okay, yeah, so you are a Libra ascendant, so that means that Capricorn is your fourth house, which is Saturn and Pluto right now. Okay, so we're experiencing some karmic transformations as Libra risings in our fourth house of home and family, but also security and also our emotional instinct, right? So that has to do with like our ability to feel, okay, and our ability to feel and know what's right, and our ability to protect ourselves based on our feelings and our emotions. And that's what we're identifying with as well, right? Because that's where the sun is, that's where our focus is. Our focus is on our emotional security. So you could be isolating yourself or pulling yourself back from all of the to your mood, right? You know that your mood needs to really be balanced out, right? This is number 18, which is related to the Hermit, right, which is Virgo, and we're in Virgo season right now. Esoterically, okay, the moon rules Virgo, so we're in a season right now that the moon is actually very resonant with, is very involved with. This is talking about one side of the situation not being revealed yet to you, because it's not going to be revealed to you externally. You're going to have to go within, right, to be able to show yourself what it is that you are feeling, right? Getting past those feelings, processing those feelings, because it's talking about processes too. So whatever process this is that this Seven of Pentacles is related to, that you need to sort of like clear up this situation, right? Whether it's with work, whether it's with money, whether it's with some kind of like bills, maybe it might be with like just you getting past, a feeling of not being good enough or anything like that, because the moon is very like submissive, and it also has it has like an almost like an introvert, right? It pulls back, okay? It's far away, it's in the distance. So you could be just doing that for your own emotional well-being, which is good, and you could be revealing some things to yourself, or things could be being revealed to you through it being an 18 that reduces to a 9 that's related to the Hermit, okay, being revealed to you some of your deeper feelings about things, and you're able to see things for what they really are, because this is talking about seeing things for what they really are. It's not really necessarily pretty, but there definitely is some clarity in the higher mind, in the higher self, in the higher vibration, because this is way past the crown chakra, you know what I mean? Okay. But the root chakra, what she's grounded in, is the murkiness, is the truth, is the reality. And this is talking about truth as well. You know what I mean? Anyway, let me look at the moon position for you. The moon position is victory, right? So you got the moon here in the sun position, we do. And then in the moon position, right? We have victory. So going within and discovering these things and being able to process these things and being able to allow yourself to go with the flow of these emotions, right? This is also being comfortable with, aspects of your body, perhaps. This could also just kind of be like clearing things and cleansing things, because the moon is cleansing and clearing. This Six of Wands here is Jupiter and Leo. And this is just talking about, high recognition or recognition for something that might involve, the nurturing of others, maybe, just how you could perhaps be of service to others in a nurturing way on a day-to-day. This is also the proof to you and me, right, as a Libra, right, that, you know, our feelings need to be expressed in creative ways, because it's only going to bring us about more success and more understanding, because the sixes are related to the lovers, which is Mercury, and it's talking about psychological well-being here, and it's related to your emotional well-being. So you have to use your emotions, right, as a way to process your emotions creatively, so that you can come up with ways to celebrate those emotions, right? And it's almost kind of like hidden, because it is the moon. You're not like, I'm going to celebrate my emotions this way by doing this. It's kind of like that is what is actually happening through the process of you being creative based on your emotional state, right? Or whatever emotional river that you're flowing down at the moment. You know what I mean? You can't go against the river. You have to go with the flow, right? Okay, so that's what the sixes are also talking about. It's talking about balance in a way where, you know, the sixes are talking about always doing what it is that you can do to make your situation better, to make improvements, so that when things do come along that challenge you, right, you can deal with them successfully, because you're not still worried about or focused on that thing that you hadn't done yet, or hadn't processed yet, or hadn't dealt with yet, or haven't tried to understand yet, or haven't even tried to tackle yet. You know what I mean? Some of you need to be athletic. You need to go out there and be physical, so that you can actually feel better. It's talking about endorphins, right? It's talking about the respiratory system, right? The nervous system as well, right? Your emotions might be making you nervous, so you need to express that physically as well with this Jupiter in Leo. You know what I mean? Do what you do well physically, right? And then you can work your way up, because it is talking about processes, right? And improving and improving and improving. You're not going to be the best at right away, or you're not going to be right in the place that you want to be right away. There's work that's involved in everything. There's a process in everything. That's what Virgo season teaches us. Virgo season teaches us that everything needs to be processed, and we're always processing things. Therefore, our reality, our day to day, needs to always be reprocessing things, just like nature does. Okay, that's how you fortify. That's how you strengthen yourself against conditions that are external to you, right? And we're talking about internal now, which is the moon, which is the hermit. Okay, let me keep going. Okay, in the past you experienced a death, right? But that's bringing you strength, and that's bringing you more security. There was something that ended, or there was a phase that passed, or there was something that had to be basically removed from your life, right? Because in this card, death is like basically like surgery. Look at this. It's kind of like scary and morbid, right? But it's saying it has no face. This transformation, you can't blame the transformation. You can't judge the transformation. You just have to let it do its work, right? Because the fours are talking about work, because the fours are related to the emperor, which, you know, wants something and works for that thing that it wants. You know what I mean? And it gets it. You know, it's kind of like relentless. So there was something that you might have felt was relentless towards your emotional well-being, or something that was very combative or conflicting of your emotional well-being in the past, that had to end, that did end, right? Because there was so much growth there, and so much, you know, overwhelmingness, for like this environment was kind of like fixed. It was there, so it needed to end, right? Okay, so that's great. Emotional clarity, you know, with the sun, moon being in the sun position, and then in the moon position, you have the Six of Wands, which is talking about victory. In the past, you have death, which is wonderful, right? But then it's kind of like that felt like it was a little bit of a setback for you, and that's why right now you have this failure card here. And some of you are thinking about your failures too much. What are they? Are they in the past, right? Like this death card is, right? Are there some things that didn't actually transpire the way that you wanted them to in the past, and now you're feeling like you failed at those things because they didn't actually end up being what you anticipated them to be? Because this is talking about anticipation, right? You're gonna do well, so you need to also start to think that as well. Believe in yourself, because nobody else will unless you do. You know, and if you stop believing in yourself, you're gonna convince others to as well. Okay, so now let me go ahead and flip over your anxieties. The anxieties are the valor. So that's the Seven of Wands, right? You have anxieties that you're going to actually have to face obstacles. You have anxieties that you're actually have to going to fight. You have anxieties that you're actually have to going to be very forthright, very authoritative. You're going to have to exercise your power so that you can experience this transformation that is going to allow you to appreciate how you're relating to the experience rather than, kind of like feel victimized by the experience that is trying to teach you something, because there really is nothing that you can do except for like get through it. You see what I mean? Because the sixes are, this is victory, right? And then this is valor, right? So this is kind of like you going against all odds, right? That's what the Seven of Wands is talking about. Against all odds, going against all of the things that you felt like were holding you back, or that were standing in front of you, or that the things that like didn't believe. Because look at this, when you're boycotting, or when you're picketing, you're kind of like going against something. Um, you know, it's Mars, so it's action. It's very actively being a part of the creative process, okay? Because the sevens are related to a process, with the seventh house being Libra, and it's also related to a process of moving forward, because when you move forward, that's sort of like proceeding. So you're processing, right? So we're trying to proceed, okay? Anyway, let me look at your Mars position after you got Mars and Leo. In the Mars position, you got completion. This is wonderful. This is Venus in Aries. And Venus in Aries is talking about, that's angelic energy, that's security, that's foundation, right? And then we have four people watching right now, so that four is very significant. Foundation, stability, security, right? Getting what you want, being the authority for you and yourself. I am the authority, you know what I mean? You have to tell yourself those things, because you have to speak them into existence in order for you to manifest those things. Because if you don't have the consciousness to believe, right, to be, right, Mars, Aries, okay, then you won't actually like become that. You know what I mean? But being that we are Libras, and that we are, you know, Venus ruled, and this is Venus and Mars, or Venus and Aries in the Mars position. It's saying yes, you're doing it the way that you see to do it, and it's actually happening. It is completing itself. It's wonderful. You got victory, you got valor, you got completion, right? You also have death, right? But this failure card is here making you feel, seven, related to Cancer, Chariot, like it's not happening. Saturn, restricting you. Time. Time is an issue too. 1717, that's 8 and 8. Okay, let me flip over your Venus. Relationship wise, you guys need to walk away from some things that are toxic in terms of your relationships. But then also, the things that are going to bring you harmony are not going to follow the things that are bringing you disharmony, right? So you have to walk away from those things. This is indolence, right? This is the inability to see that a situation needs to end, right? Because I was saying time was an issue. This is this is Saturn in Pisces. Pisces is talking about, maybe escapism, right? And then it's also saying that, sometimes in your relationships you may not be willing to leave the emotional effects, right? Because you're still experiencing that withdrawal, right? Maybe perhaps. And then it's kind of like, the blame game, or what happened, or why time wise going over things, because water remembers, and water takes on the properties, right? So it could be like that you've just taken on so much within these relationships, or within these struggles within your power, or giving away your power, because you could be giving away your power to something, and it's causing you to be held back, right, from really experiencing these promotions, these spiritual promotions, and things that are meant to come to you, right? So it's kind of like your relationships, right, or these things that you felt like you trusted, right, may have not been there for you, or they may have not made you feel safe, or they just kind of weren't in your best interest, right? Because this is kind of like maybe isolation too, right, with that Pisces energy, okay? And it's kind of like if you stay in that isolation, then you'll never actually be able to stand in the power of grounding yourself in, or in anything that is going to be meaningful for you, because you're like still stuck on that thing that like didn't happen or wasn't working. You know what I mean? But it's good, you know what I mean? Because it's saying walk away from that thing. But indolence is kind of like, laziness or something like that, or just feeling tired, you know. But you did get the rocks there at the bottom of the deck. So let's look at the outcome and the energy moving forward. This is Mars in Capricorn. So this is creativity. This is a 3. This is related to the Empress, which is talking about something being protected, and something that is actually very beneficial to itself, right? Because it's Mars. You're beneficial to yourself. And Capricorn is talking about building something. It's talking about work. And it's also talking about what you actually can do that other people will appreciate. It's talking about building foundations too. And it's coming from that creative place. You know what I mean? Something is definitely working for you. Something is definitely going to be a stamp of approval for you, for us. Something is going to feel like it's worthy of your experience, or you are worthy of doing it, right? It's appreciation and value. You know, these threes are talking about something continuing to work and work and work and build and build and build and build, right? Process. We were talking about that. The future card for you, Princess of Cups, creativity. That's Pisces energy, right? We're in that energy for you right now for us because the sun is in our 12th house of Virgo, right? So we're always dealing with that opposing energy especially when you're Libra rising, right? Okay? Because if you're a Libra rising and a Libra, then it gets a little funky up in there. I love it though. I'm both. I'm double Libra. So the Princess of Cups is as saying, like, actually be of service to your emotions so that you can be creative, right? Like I opened the reading with. And then you have another creative card here, okay? And then you have the rock star card at the bottom of the deck. Happy birthday, by the way, okay? Are you feeling like a rock star? Now, let me flip over the card at the top of the reading, the Hermit, going right back to what I said at the beginning, going inward and revealing these things to yourself. And this is sort of authoritative, right? It's going inward and being able to process all of those things that you felt like were hidden from your ability to do, right? To see, because you might have been blocked or blinded by the need to sort of be there for others. You know, now your awareness has expanded to yourself, right? Because we're open to others, right? But then it's kind of like we're so busy opening up to others, then it's kind of like, how can we bring things into ourselves that we can benefit from? And like I said, processing things. The Hermit is all about processing things. And then you're going to start to see the things that you actually want to see because you won't be blinded by the things that you've ignored. You see what I'm saying? But I'm going to do another reading for you guys in October. But this is really wonderful. At the bottom of the deck is talking about moving forward to brighter lights. You know, you're just going to feel illuminated, okay? And you're going to feel like you have more energy, right? Getting more sleep. That's what the moon is talking about. The Hermit is talking about seclusion, getting that rest that you need. You know what I mean? For sure. All right, Libra, I'm so glad I did this. I'm sorry that it took me so long, but I've been kind of busy and I've been trying to get my rest. Okay, I love you guys. Follow me on Instagram, definitely. If you'd like a reading, a personal reading, email providencetarotkendrick at gmail.com. On Instagram, I am NYC Kendrick. That's my personal account. And then I have a food blog because I know Libras, we love beauty and things like that. That is the Tongue Pop. And definitely follow me on IG Providence Tarot if you don't already. Let me know if you guys want me to do a special soon. I think I might. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. You're welcome. I love you guys. All right. I'm reading it. I'm Shanti today, everyone. Stephanie, hi. Yes, that's why the moon is here. Psychic, y'all. You know, you're 7, related to the chariot. We're very intuitive, but it's kind of like we're up here in the mind with it. We're reaching for things, right? Okay, bye.